Hello. So, um, tomorrow, I'm not ready. I'm not ready to leave tomorrow, but I'm still debating on whether or not I can afford to do another week here. I tried. I don't know. I must have submitted like at least I put out a public ad, and I also must have been submitted at least probably 10. Damn. uh, Probably at least 10 ads I've responded to trying to look for a place to rent. Now, this one place says that to be ready to move in. Yeah, it's in East Milton. I don't have a way to get there. And then they said it's $600. I can't afford that one. I told people, like, why the hell are people putting, like, when I put out an ad that says $500 or less. Why are motherfuckers coming up at me and $600, $700, $800, or $950 when I told them 500 or less? Excuse me, on Craigslist. I wonder if these are perps trying to play psych games and do this on purpose. When I told y'all I can only afford $500 or less. And then they would get mad and call me money hungry or cheap or something like that. And it's like, no way in hell. It's like, this is how they do for Craigslist. All right, I applied for several. Uh, I responded to several places for a room for rent, and only two people emailed me back. And the people who I text, they never responded back. Let's see how many people. I It was at least three people I text and no response, and quite several emails, and only it's like one of them is, I said I need to be in Pensacola. I don't have a way to get out to Milton, Florida. I mean, if I had the money, um, yeah, people are stupid. I mean, and then hold on, this other one. Try to say this lady right here says her place is $500 plus 35. It's 500 plus 35 to cover utilities, cable, and internet. I don't use fucking cable. I don't. Why have or care about a TV? And then she requires, but I require a background. I mean, I can understand a background check. Not everybody does it, but she might be a perp wanting a background check, but you just want me to spend more money. That not that you care about being safe, you know. Trying to say, but I require a background check. If something happened in your past, you can explain to me. No drugs, no getting drunk in the house, no overnight visitors, clean and quiet house. You in your little email, you sound illiterate, like you can't even freaking spell. So damn, cause this is what I gotta do. If I were to rent a room from somebody, I would hate for it to be long term. And they try to act like they delusionally believe they're real landlords who wanting a background check, first and last month's rent and deposit, and wanting an artificial fake lease. Excuse me. And trying to act like they're in competition with real landlords when you're renting an apartment from somebody, and a lot of people, they illegally, rent a room rent rooms to people, and you set all these rules up for people and act like you think you have a certain amount of authority, but then you sit there and freaking let people smoke weed in your house and stuff. Like, I remember what happened last. I mean, I had all these traumatic experiences with trying to rent a room, and you wonder why I don't want to freaking rent a room anymore. And then fake TI perps and actual perps falsely accuse me of acting like I think I'm too good to rent a room from somebody. They're the ones who tell you you must have a job, you must have a car. Last last month when I try to and I mean last month when I tried to rent a room, the guy flat out ignored me. You know, so these people want you to you know, have a job in a car, and they want you to pay like $950 to stay there. You share a bathroom room or whatever, and then you can't stay there as long as you want. You have to like the shelters. You have to leave and be gone all day because they don't trust you. And nowadays you got to be forced to wear a mask and stuff like that, like all day, every day in the house. It's fucking ridiculous. I mean, people are just. I mean, I feel like if you want to try to act like you're scared of catching COVID, stop doing Uber. Stop Stop ride sharing and stop sharing your home. If you're really that afraid of catching coronavirus, so I don't know. And then other people, they act like as if they want you to be their living sex slave. They put out an ad that you must be a pretty and attractive woman. And they want you to sexually service them. But this motherfucker right here, look. I don't know if y'all can see that glare. But this person says $500 room available for a special kind of person. So you want a living sex slave that will also pay rent? Usually you a special kind of fucking narcissistic abuser, because it says you're looking for a special roommate that likes to submit sexually. Be our little secret. Any other sick pervert will make it like as if as long as you give them sex, it's rent free. I don't know what's wrong with this world. Like, and you have to be a pretty and attractive, submissive sex slave female in order to get rent free. But this bastard wants $500 plus be a living submissive sex slave. And you have to be white or light skinned or Latin or Asian. Sometimes they specifically put that in the emails too. So yeah, most people freaking ignored me. And the couple of people who did respond, they have unrealistic expectations of, after I've said that $500 is the most I can afford. And I'll tell you why. First of all, food and phone bill. Second, I mean, with me having this low income, I don't trust renting a room from somebody and then put all my belongings in their house and then get evicted or kicked out for whatever reasons, multitude of reasons. So that's why I'm keeping my storage unit until or unless I get my own apartment or a house or something like that not renting a room, or as long as I'm renting a room, staying on the streets and staying in a hotel, I'm gonna have to keep my storage unit. But until I get my own place, um, you know, it's really hard. Or unless I get a van donated or a vehicle donated that runs good, and if I can sleep in it. I mean, they had this guy. He has an advertisement. He keeps advertising $250 a month for a converted bus to live in. And whenever I try to respond, he never answers back. Or wait a minute, I forgot what the response was. But yeah, for whatever reason, he refused me. But I couldn't sleep in a converted bus in this cold in winter. Because it can get below 40 degrees or below 30. I mean, I don't know about below 30, but around the 30s here in Pensacola. And it also can get cold. And every once in a random moon in New Orleans, it can snow. It snowed when I was 4 years old in 1987. And I don't have pictures, but the fake foster mom has those pictures. And me and my twin sister dressed just alike, both wearing red hooded coats. And I couldn't tell us apart. But then after that, it was 2004 and it snowed in New Orleans on fake Christmas. It snowed. So yeah, and that's another thing. Um I like to be liberal enough to be able to I'm not the type of person who run up all the doggone bills, but I can't handle being cold. And I don't know, I might have to just layer up with clothes or wear multiple blankets in order to keep warm. Excuse me. And when I stayed in at that hostel in New Orleans, twice when I stayed there, I used the hot water to try to warm up, and the temperature was about 40 degrees. And here at this hotel, it almost happened last night, but it didn't. That I was just trying to get warm, and the water wasn't even scalding hot, or it wasn't too hot, but it was hot enough, and I was just trying to get warm, and I got weak and I passed out, and I thought I was gonna die. So I really thought I was gonna die, being overheated a couple of times, and I thought my life was gonna end. That I got overheated, trying to stay warm in the shower, at that hostel in New Orleans. And I didn't realize they hurt me so bad there. I didn't realize at that time I was being gang stalked. It was the end of 2019 and the beginning of 2020. And then they lied and said that you know now I think they tried to lie and said that they didn't have any rooms there or something, any more rooms. Cause that lady, her name was Kathy. And you know how people be like, you can tell me anything, or you can talk to me about anything. And if you have a problem, you come let me know. I'm always here for you. I no longer trust people when they say that, because when it's always narcissistic abusers who pretend to start off fake nice, and then make all these false promises and promise to be supportive of you and be there for you. And as fast as they say it, that's as fast as they turn against you and stab you in the back and leave you shocked. So like with that lady in the month of September, a couple of months ago, that Terry Sullivan lady made all these false promises. But she did get me to the hotel room for a couple of nights. And then, she went AWOL on me. And I didn't want to, quote unquote, bother her or pester her or anything like that. I left her alone. I kept my distance. So, I figured she might have been fake, and, I blocked her number so she won't have to worry about me aggravating her. So, I don't know. But it seems like when people want to rent a room to people, it's like they want you. Social Security and SSI, they don't accept that. They want you to have a job and your own car and to not be in the house all day. Looking for a job and going job hunting is not acceptable. You have to already have a job. And then, they want first month's rent, last month's rent, and security deposit. And they want you to stay long term. Excuse me. Or some of them don't want you to stay long term, but if they do charge $125 a week, it'd be like $125 per week. And then like a $250 deposit that's non-refundable that I can't afford. Plus, they want a background check and stuff like that. So, or they just flat out scammers. That send spam and scam advertisements when you try to click on the Craigslist. And there was some kind of other roommate website that I looked into, and I put up my ad and my information. I don't remember the name of it. Trying to get a roommate, and even though I hate roommates and I don't do well with roommates, but I figure, I don't want somebody that's too demanding and too controlling, and that's gonna force me to wear a mask, or I can't come and go as I please. I mean, or the place is dirty, the toilet seat is loose, the shower ain't hot enough, or you have loud roommates, or bossy, narcissistic, controlling roommates who don't. If there are 4 females in the house, and then they all throw all the chores, like similar to workplace bullying and workplace mobbing, but except it's renting a room. Instead of, it's similar to that where, they act narcissistic and controlling. They huddle together and you're the only outcast singled out. They all talk shit about you behind your back. They sneak behind your back and tattle to the landlord or whatever, or whoever's the person renting the place to us and stuff like that. So all this trouble and all these challenges, that's why I prefer to be by myself. Not that I think I'm too good to be around people. It's not the case. I'm just tired of being tortured and want my peace and quiet. So it's not fair for anyone to have to pay to not live in peace and comfort. So after being back, let's see, renting a room, before 2017, before 2018, I don't think I ever rented a room. So, let's see, I don't think I ever rented, let me think. Yeah, never really rented a room. And shelters aren't that easy anymore. Back in 2007 and stuff, you might have either pay a low price or stay for free in a shelter. Not anymore. Now they freaking $600. And I've talked quite a few times about how it is in these shelters. I don't think I'm too good to stay in a shelter. But let's say you eat a loaf of bread that somebody, eat out of a loaf of bread that somebody with with shitty and bloody hands, menstrual blood, go dig in the freaking loaf of bread that everybody has to eat, and you pay $600 to stay there, and your income is only 800. Then they force you to wear a mask, and then they have all these rules and regulations. I can't have my earphones. Me being disabled and trying to black out noise is breaking the rules. They take all your belongings away from you, and you're not allowed to even have your own Bible. You have to use their Bible that's probably an English Standard Version or NIV or a contemporary English version, but no King James Version. And they perp you really bad. They use noise harassment. So, I'm like, if I had a room for rent, or if if I had a room for rent, I don't really go out at night anyway. I don't go party or anything. But what if there was that rare moment, if I needed, for whatever reason, to go out of town? Say for like, I don't know, any reason, you know. So if like, whether it be for job opportunity, family funeral, family member's funeral, or you know, renting a room, you should be able to have the freedom, if you want to take a vacation. But they'll have these curfews, like they try to make it more like, the same rules as a shelter, pretty much. Renting a room from somebody who's illegally renting their room out to you, and they're breaking their lease when they do that a lot of the times. And I don't know, but sometimes people might have their own house, and they talk to me on the phone or something. I don't even have to tell them about my targeting or none of that. I can just simply say that I'm a disabled, homeless, single female. I get SSI and Social Security, and I'm looking for a place to rent. And they'll make it like as if I'm seem suspicious, or that like they don't trust me or something like that. Makes me feel bad, So like, you don't trust me. But I'm like, what did I say? To make you suspicious of me. So then I have to stay on the streets. As I said, I'm going to remind y'all again. At Inslee First Baptist Church, I'm wrong. They set me up and wrongfully banned me on the coldest day of the year. And I don't know how long I'm banned for. But the narcissistic lady herself got an attitude with me and yelled at me and lashed out on me on purpose for no reason. Plus, they had this other guy who was like not the usual security guy who checks in all your belongings, but this guy had on a red shirt and was a perp, and so was that 72-year-old Sally lady. She might be 73 by now, but this bitch is fucking 73 years old, a narcissistic abuser, very skinny, looked like a female version. Looked like a hardcore Butch Mandyke version of how the zombie version of Michael Jackson. She looked like a pale version of like how the zombie version of Michael Jackson looked in the Thriller video. And it's a freaking skinny ass old white lady, shorter than me, 72 years old, very skinny and hyperactive and able-bodied with a lot of energy. And and she demands to be the center of attention, and she delusionally believes she's class clown funny. And those ladies there, they freaking bow down to her and they freaking worship her. They idolize her. and because of her position, she done nothing wrong. And I'm like, that's very fucked up that, they throw me out cold on the streets like that. Because I'm gonna tell you what happened. What happened was, okay, we went to get our, like, they begged me to stay that morning. It was a Tuesday morning. It was the day after Martin Luther King holiday. Because on the Martin Luther King holiday, I saw a video, and that video was taken down. But it was a video about a targeted individual, and it was the Targeted Individuals Mexico channel. And for some reason, I was able to get a little bit of internet access up in there, because usually I couldn't get any. And so I had to go outside to get internet. I mean, from my data on my phone. So the girl, like, a lot of blood was like coming out of her nose because of electronic harassment. And it was a very short video clip. And then shortly after, my nose bled a little bit, not a lot, but it bled a little bit, because I don't even get nosebleeds like that. So I don't know what, like, if my nose was bleeding a little bit, so that traumatized me to see that. Plus, I saw another person a couple of months ago. She was she's very targeted, and she still has the willpower to live. And they changed her whole entire image and appearance. And she showed pictures and stuff about her nose bleeding, with the targeting. So anyway, back to what I was saying. So it was that day, MLK holiday. Then the next day, they begged me to stay. So I stayed for lunch. And I'm sorry, not lunch, breakfast. And they purposely made us wait later than normal. And they even had men, so-called Christian men who are homeless, and they were disrespectful, rude-ass bullies. The so-called homeless Christian men at these shelters don't know how to treat. They claim to be Christian and love the Lord, but they do not know how to talk to or treat women. They psychologically and mentally and verbally handle you like a rag doll. So anyway, what happened? So the food that I was supposed to take, they gave us like bag of food to take with us. And I got sidetracked and accidentally forgot mine. And so, I left, and I think that I found out that other church, they ended up bailing out on me too, and, turned against me. So I don't even go there no more. Plus, they had that snot-nosed guy, Thurston, who plasters himself ill. Like, he's dirty and he shits all over everywhere, plasters himself all over everywhere. And him in his dirty hands, he'll put his bare dirty hands in all the food. Just gross. That's why I don't go there no more, because of Thurston. But anyway, back to the story. And Thurston bragged about being a Satanist and stuff too. So when I went to that other church to get lunch and stuff, and then after that, I don't remember what else I did that day. And then I went back to the Inslee First Baptist Church, and they had the perp guy who's not the usual nice guy there. And what was it? My pepper spray. Now, they didn't say anything all this time, but they try to make like as if I'm a criminal and having weapons, for having my pepper spray. But the other times that I've been there, they didn't say anything about the pepper spray. So they just wanted to look for something to fuck with me about. If I wasn't wrong all this time, why I'm only wrong because you're here. You're a narcissistic abuser and gang stalking perp, and your shirt is red, and you just want to set me up to not have to go. Now, before then, I had altercation with that lady too. That Sally lady. I can't remember offhand, but she had threatened to she like threatened to get the I don't remember um I well sorry, I got kind of sidetracked, but so I don't remember what the argument was, but she made a threat to have like she just started yelling at me for no reason, and like you know how narcissistic abusers are. Like even earlier that morning, no, that was the day before. I asked her something, and she just straight like I only got one track, man. I'm like whoa, like. But their rules say that we aren't supposed to lash out and yell at people or whatever. But you know how they over exaggerate and lie and say that you cursed them out and threatened them and stuff like that when you know you didn't. You know, so if I told them, oh man, it hurt my chest. So then it's like you know she's a freaking narcissistic abuser. You know she get mad and scream like if I ask a question and she's like I only got one trademark whatever. So their rules we're not supposed to lash out or be yelling at people or be verbally abusive, but they can do it. They don't follow their own rules. So and then another time she yelled at me for no reason unnecessarily, and I don't remember what everything that happened by now, but she and it's like for no reason like um and also they used the electronic weapons to cause me to pee on myself. So I thought they I thought that they did give clothes, but even I mean, and they wouldn't allow me a change of pants to wear, and that lady Sally thought I deserved as a punishment to suffer and suffer in the same pissy pants to wear, and I'm like, oh, that's what I want. So I try to ask, well, I thought that you can wash clothes here, do laundry here. And she swore up and down that she never told us that and stuff. I'm like, I mean, like I was told, that we were told that you can do laundry and wash your clothes and stuff. So the very second, every time I'm dealing with her, you know, they say 10-minute limit, but this is the part of the gang stalking at any homeless shelter I go to. They I go and the very second they see me walk into the bathroom, they're already banging on the door saying I exceeded 10 minutes and I'm like, wow, I just closed the door behind myself. They used to even treat me like that at the New Orleans, what was that? New Orleans Mission or whatever place that is. So I'll say this. Other than that fake evil hag ass bitch Miss Francois at Salvation Army, and also dealing with the I mean in New Orleans, the Salvation Army in New Orleans, and also if it weren't for her and the bed bugs, I probably could have had some shelter to stay at. But the bed bug infestation was so bad, and nobody was doing it. They didn't care. Nobody was doing the staff. Nobody was doing anything about it. But I don't know why people like Miss Francois is allowed to stick around. She's not the boss, but she's a damn bully. At the Salvation Army in New Orleans. So Miss Francois and the bedbug torture is why I couldn't stay at the Salvation Army in New Orleans. And then they had bedbugs and the other perping and abuse and the molestation. Yes, they used to molest us and freaking all in the name of frisking when they weren't authorized to do that. Like all they want to do is, I mean, at the New Orleans mission, they want to first thing they just want to touch your private parts only, and it's like you try to fight it, and then they try to make like you have to allow them. You have to be forced against your will. They force you to allow them to touch you on your genitals against your will. And then a forced fake hypocritian indoctrination church service. And then a good ass yummy dinner though. And then they take all your belongings away from you. And you're forced to leave all your stuff outside. You're not allowed to wear your own clothes, and you have to have somebody else's clothes to wear. And then you're not allowed to even have your own Bible. You have to use their false Bibles. They have a long list of rules. And then at New Orleans mission, then they you know, they bust in on you when you're in the middle of trying to take a shower. Another reason why I don't want to do homeless shelters, they force you against your will to take a tuberculosis test. And when you take a tuberculosis test, I heard that gives you tuberculosis. Not just a test, but I heard that it would put that in your system. So, no more tuberculosis TB test for me. I heard that's like another vaccine in disguise, but they don't tell you that. So back to the Stallion lady. But she threatened to have. I mean, she threatened to send that. I mean, she was not acting Christian at all herself, and everybody just defended her because of her position. I'm like, she's just a damn volunteer. I'm like, why are y'all praising this woman and putting her on a pedestal, like worshiping her? And like everything she does, y'all approve of. Like everything she does is right. You know, like her. I mean, the other volunteers were even scared of this old ass lady. And the other volunteers were scared of her and worshiping her. Like, so, I really hate people like that. And I don't remember everything else that happened, but, so I was forced against my will to stay in the same pissy pants in the cold weather. And, you know, she's, her and that perp guy that set me up, picked the argument with me, and yelled at me for no reason and stuff. And I asked, why you getting an attitude? And then they're like, look, you know, just yelling for no reason at all. And then you freaking tell people about, you go at the center stage and tell people about the love of Jesus Christ and how you love everybody and how you turn from all your sin, you lying bitch, and everything. You know, just make yourself sound all good. You know, and people didn't even see her hypocrisy or rebuke or correct her. Everybody was afraid of her. And so, you know, I was forced against my will to be left on the streets. And then I had to go to fake Walmart. And the first person I asked, well, can I stay here because it's so cold and they kicked me out the shelter. I don't have any place to go. And then she said, well, you can't stay here. I mean, she said, you can't sleep here. And I'm thinking, well, how? I'm like, I didn't even ask you all that. I just asked, could I stay here? You know, and the first thing is, you can stay here, but you can't sleep here. So, I went and tried to go to the backs of fake Walmart, where the bathrooms are in the back, and I covered up. And I think that night, in the middle of the night, stars 15K. Did she get my email too? Oh, I don't think it was an email. I think it was a comment on YouTube or something, or my phone or something. I don't remember. But some kind of way she contacted me and acted like she was trying to play psych games and try to be like, well, what if I give you $10,000 and this and that and stuff like that. Um, so I didn't with the $10,000, you know, I figured, this person is playing games and trying to offer me $10,000 and some other stuff. I don't remember. But also, back to talking about renting a room. So I tried several times to rent a room in New Orleans after 2008. It was in 2018 and 2019. And I tried what I could, to try to get a place. The hostel didn't work out. I tried working at the Grand Canyon. That didn't work out. In September when I went to New Orleans a couple of months ago, less than 2 months ago, well, over a month ago, that new hostel downtown that they built got closed down. So, but I heard that hostels are hard to get into anyway, and they frown upon locals staying in hostels or hotels, and it's only for travelers. But I had no place else to go, and so I tried to rent a room for $600. I'm glad the lady gave me all my money back because she had like everything broken. And the lady was a black lady. She was narcissistic and didn't give a fuck. I don't even remember her name, but she was in Algiers, and she like the ceiling was caved in. I think they had leaks going on. She had bed bugs. I heard how mean she was, and so then I asked her for my $600 back. I'm glad she gave it back to me with no problem. And then I had a couple of other instances where I tried to rent a room and it didn't work out because either bed bug infestation or roommate smoking and refuse, like, they want to exercise their so-called freedom and right to smoke inside the house. And then they'd be like, well, I can't do nothing about it. She got seniority. She's been here before you. So I can't make her stop smoking. I'm like, well, I can't stay there because I have a right to breathe, damn it. So I don't want to be smelling. And then this lady acting like she was all disabled. And I'm sitting here thinking, well, if you're disabled, well, if you stop smoking cigarettes, then you wouldn't have to be so disabled. But I think she was a narcissistic perp that, just wanted to smoke heavy and on purpose and refused to quit smoking and thought she was entitled, So, but the little house owner, he was really nice. He was somewhere in New Orleans, not all that far from UNO's campus. And so, big disappointment that but then again, she probably would have been trouble anyway. And that house was kind of nice, and it had where you can wash and dry your clothes in that house and stuff. So the man, he just sit there like, So because of that, lady smoking was the reason why I couldn't stay there, and I knew we wouldn't get along. And she was blasting loud music too. She was a perp. And I didn't know I was being gang stalked at the time, or maybe it was the beginning of me finding out. It was before I left to come here to Pensacola. And so I've tried renting a room here and there in Pensacola, and I never got any success until I got with that girl Daphne. And, she's the one who was living in the projects and charging $75 a week. She kept my money and for the whole $75, and me and her got into it real heavy. Like the first day there, she talked like she was a good Christian who was woke to the truth, knew about the Illuminati. And then the next morning, she woke up and just started tripping on me for no reason. Like, she started tripping on me. It was after 8 o'clock in the morning, and she was tripping on me for eating cereal in the kitchen. And I'm like, well, where you expect me to go? Narcissistic abusers, they just yell at you about stuff, and like, if they yell at you about something, they didn't tell you they didn't lay down the rules for you, or they have all this long list of rules. But yeah, they have hidden and unhidden rules that they expect you to already know. So we're supposed to already know their rules, even the unannounced or hidden rules. I didn't know she wanted us to eat in our room, but like any other people, like, that's crazy. She wants you to that she tripped on you eating in the kitchen. So even for November of last year, I looked for a room to rent, and nobody wanted to rent a room to me. Or people would see a picture of what I look like, and they reject me renting a room because they don't like the way I look, or they think I'm a tranny trying to trick them. And I showed them pictures of me with long hair and the way I look currently, and they still don't accept me. Yeah, me and my twin sister suffer seborrheic dermatitis, but mine is not as bad. And that's why they try to that's a different topic of the foster mom having us go look like boys going to school. But now my hair is short because of being damaged, and not because of the seborrheic dermatitis. But I had to cut the damaged hair off, and I still got some, I think, remnants of damaged hair. That guy didn't cut my hair properly or the way I wanted it. But I wanted to try to let it grow back. So that's another challenge, So then there was Janet. Attitude wise, she was nice until she sent for me to, when we got our coronavirus money, stimulus money, and she sent for me to go to Orlando and Miami. And she sent for me to go to Orlando and Miami, and then acted like a narcissistic perp the whole time. And after she turned in that Malibu, she went back to acting like her normal self. And because I refused to take coronavirus test, she kicked me out. And so I've been struggling since then. Like, but a lot of times they had these perverted men who are looking for a living sex slave. It's hard to find a actual woman to rent a room, or it's like you would think that, I don't know, it's like, and then it's like when it is real females, it's like nobody trusts anybody with renting a room and stuff like that. But hey, I tried, so I'm done for now, and thanks for listening, and I'll see y'all later. Bye.